everybody and their brother wanted to, freak out the other day about Ja Morant being on the video, right? And like being in the car, dude goes on Instagram Live, he's holding the gun, and now everybody's suspending him again and freaking out. And first of all, obviously, if you're trying to make money and you know that that's the way, like that's going to affect your contract, your family, then it's stupid to let your buddy do that. That's dumb, right? I get that part. I'm always arguing that. Some people I listen to, I'm like, dude, people actually listen to these people, they suck really bad. They're like it's at this point kind of self-inflicted. I think he doesn't even want to be in the NBA anymore. It's like, dude, shut up. When you talk, I want to throw up my own mouth. Be an adult. I heard Jalen Rose say, athletes are expected to be role models. And he went on to say that other professions, artists, and some of those others, they're not necessarily, like some of the stuff they would do would be celebrated in the same actions. And I agree with him that that's the case. But I don't agree that's right. This lack of mentorship and role model from adults on kids' lives as they're growing up, that's our shit to deal with. I'm a role model to my kids, good or bad. Like, I've done these things good, I've done these, and I'll be like, dude, I really screwed that up. Don't do that the way I did it, okay? These things I did pretty good, do these things. And I've even gone and said, that person's really good at that, better than me. Watch him. Not somebody they can actually have a conversation with, like in real life, a real person they're gonna get to know. Ja Morant's not, when am I gonna talk to Ja Morant about what? Like, can you imagine back in the day if I was like, your role model is LeBron James, my kids' age, they're growing up. Like, that would be ludicrous. A man they may meet in passing, never have conversations with, will never have his cell phone number. How could he ever be their role model? So we have this inadequacy in our society, and then somehow we pick, and who picked it, by the way? Like, why, if you're an artist, can you take a video with a gun in your hand and it's celebrated? And why, if you're an actor? You want to know why? First of all, it's not against, what did he do? It's against the law. By the way, you get a video of me when I'm in my car. Now, do I want my buddy to take a video of me and post of me having a gun in my hands? But they're professional athletes that go hunting with guns. They post pictures of animals they kill, which dude, do you? I'm good. I'm whatever. But I'm still trying to understand the issue we seem to come back to is, but he's a role model. Who the fuck said he's a role model? How do you get to determine that somebody else is a role model for your child or your sibling or your dad, I guess, if he's weird and needs a role model, he's an adult? Who decided this? That's not right. It's not. It's not in any way, shape, or form. The fact that he's getting suspended is hysterically comical, but whatever. That's, and the NBA is going to, Stephen Smith, he said, and the NBA is going to come in and give him a double digits. He says it a lot more animated, gets you really excited. It was about Harden the other day. He said he should shave his beard so he can hide because of how bad he was. I'm thinking, I don't know why Harden just don't smack taste out of his mouth, but I guess it's just to let people say whatever they want, even though they never played and they can't defend themselves. So, but at the end of the day, in my opinion, when we start having professions that can suspend you for things that no other profession does, that are not a crime. If you're an actor, it wouldn't happen. You're famous. Musician, you're famous. Comedian, you're famous. So why aren't they role models? Why? What? I don't know that Kevin Hart's done it. I mean, I like Kevin Hart. He's funny as hell. So he makes me laugh. He's a great actor. But is he a role model? Is he not a role? I don't. But who decided? Now this will get deeper for you. Most men that played sport at any level, and most of them don't. If you look at the numbers, how few play above high school at any level, let alone Division I level, and the tiny number that plays professionally gets paid. And professional athletes are people that make enough money to make a good living. It's not they gave me a couple $100 a month to play some ball. You're not a professional athlete. And they'd be like me being a professional pool player because every 2 months I win $150 from a guy. I'm not a professional. For those of you who think you're professional poker players because you won a tournament one time for $800, you're not a professional poker player. I don't want to fucking break it to you, but you're not. You just do to play some poker. Can you make a living and support your family on what you're doing? Okay? You're a professional. We just keep doing this. Like, it's no big, like, all of a sudden they're role models. When Robert Kraft got arrested in the spa, nobody was like, he's a role model. You know, he really he's a role model. When he got arrested, like, he committed, I mean, they arrested him, so it was a crime. Like, they charged him. And it was like, okay. And I'm not saying that, like, dude, who am I? I'm not judging you. But I you know, and maybe, I don't know Ja Morant, obviously, at all. They say he's real smart. Most people that talk about him, I don't know him at all. Maybe he's kind of like, dude, like, I took the video down, and I'll say the apologies and stuff, but this is kind of stupid. Like, I'm 23 years old and I carry a gun. Now, I'll carry a gun always for my self-defense. I don't put videos of it on the internet, but I carry it. I'm ready. I'm well within my rights to do so. I don't know what state he was in or what permit is required if there is one. Some states, I don't know what he did or didn't do. He didn't get charged. But we keep, like, all the vultures come out and they can't wait to talk about the video. I'm like, they report more on this than dudes that get in a drunk driving accident, they're athletes, and kill people. And it's like, well, that's not talked about anymore. Like, they killed somebody. They took a life. This dude's in a video hanging out with his buddy holding the gun. You know, it's easy to say, well, he's self-sabotaging. He's doing this on purpose. Trying to be somebody he's not. I love it. And by the way, you know what I say? I don't know, because I don't know. If I talk to him, then maybe I could glean it and figure out what he's doing, but I don't know, so I don't know. But I do know that societal inferences are this, like, you're a role. And when Jalen Rose said that, I was like, damn, that's so true. Like, he's right. It's wrong, but he's right. And then it's like, but wait a minute. I will guarantee you this. If you take any PJ golfer and he took a video of him carrying a gun, hunting in the woods, hell, took a video shooting an animal, nobody care. I mean, it's still a loaded weapon that he can. And again, you got to ask yourself, where's the double standard come from? Because there is one. This is the epitome of a double standard. Why is it? I don't know. And there's so many things that you see this happen in, and we just kind of go like, so the guy the other day is like, well, you know, tell me something that he was giving me shit. I said, dude, he wanted me to go to a golf tournament. I said, dude, why would I go to a golf tournament? Like, I can't have my cell phone. Like, I make a living with my cell phone. And he's like, well, you just got to leave it before you go in. I go, dude, can you hear yourself? You're saying this out loud. I have to leave my cell phone so I don't disturb the poor little golfers. But when Ja Morant shoots a free throw, 40,000 people can flip him off, scream, yell, cuss him out, wave their hand. They even bring the dance team, the cheerleaders to do it. They go up and freaking out. Like, they put people behind the thing. They do all kinds of crazy shit. But I can't take a phone call at the big bad golf tournament. I might disrupt them. They go, well, no, I go, shooting a free throw, dude. Nobody's moving. Like, everybody's sitting still. You're taking a putt. You're making a free throw. You can't do it in tennis either. I've never been in a tennis match. And I'm no offense, I don't want to go, but I'm not mad. I'm not excited. It's not my thing. But I don't think they take too kindly to that. I don't. So I don't know the answer to that. There's just so many things that you're like, well, why? And until we start figuring out why, somebody explain to me why you can do something that isn't a crime and you can lose your job and your pay. And the only profession, and I think Jalen Rose said it right, the only profession that this happens is in professional sports. The only one. And I'd argue that it's much more severe in certain sports than others. That's a conversation for a different day. I think I know some of the reasons why. Y'all might know some of the reasons why. But that's a conversation we need to start really having as a society. Like, why? Right? But at the end of the day, if it's because we've decided that, well, we're professional athletes or we're just role models, I think that's bullshit. I'm not a professional basketball player, but if I was, I'd be like, you know what, bro, y'all, screw you. Screw you. Like, I ain't your kid's athlete. Charles Barkley, I ain't no damn role model. And he wasn't supposed to be. Handle your own business. Do you know why we can say that? Because we don't want to be responsible for our kids. We don't want to be responsible for our peers, our nieces, our nephews, our students, our players. When I was coaching anything, baseball, basketball, football, I was their role model. Not in every aspect of their life, but a role model in discipline, the sport, their academics. Doesn't mean I was their tutor, but their role model. Being a businessman or businesswoman, I only coach guys because I just did. I grew up. I coached my son's teams, a lot of other ones after that. But those guys, like teaching them to be businessmen, teaching them how to handle themselves the right way, mentor them in what they should be doing and not doing, talking to them about using drugs and alcohol, what you do in a relationship, how you never, ever, ever, ever in your life raise your hand to a woman. And if somebody goes, well, she hit me first. Well, you a bitch for hitting her back. I mean, that you are. But we got Ja Morant waving a gun, losing according to Stephen A. Smith, and he better be good at this because what the hell does he do but scream and yell? Gonna be suspended for double-digit games? They only play like 80-something, right? Like, you're gonna lose maybe 10% of your season, maybe 20. I don't know how many games it's gonna be. And all that pay for your family? Again, Ja Morant. I'm sure Ja Morant's going, dude, I'm an idiot for hanging out with that dude and letting him post that. That's stupid to me. Like, that was dumb. I ain't trying to self-sabotage. That's what I would guess. Or maybe he's going, you know what? Dude, it was dumb, but I'm nobody's role model. And they should start appealing these suspensions. Like, I don't have a law degree. This doesn't seem to be too hard. Like, we've decided. You go, well, the collective bargaining agreements, I don't know all these union deals what they don't have. But if the union should be stronger then. Because it should be able to walk in and go, did he commit a crime? No, but did he commit a crime? Did he do anything to harm the game of basketball? Yeah, he put a gun up in the video. That harmed the game of basketball. By the way, did he have a legal right to own the gun? Did he have a right to hold the gun? In that state, do you need a permit to be in a car with a gun? Did he point at somebody? Did he say, I'm going to shoot this person? I mean, that would be a little bit crazy. That's a crime, actually. You know what I mean? I'm somewhere, some statute. You can't be pointing like gun at people. But to hold it up while you're doing whatever you're doing, hanging out, singing, talking, whatever, I don't know, man. I think we're in a very dangerous world. And I believe Jalen Rose. I think he's got his shit together. He played ball for a long time. He didn't pontificate at whether they should be or not, but I think he was right. Athletes are expected to live to a much, much, much higher standard than anybody else who's in the public eye. Why? And again, there's probably some bigger and better reasons why. Is it economically how some of these athletes grew up? I don't know. Why do you expect that I don't get it. Is it race? We need to figure some shit out because we're asking people to be a role model because they're a good athlete. And then we're literally saying in your industry, in only your industry, here's the standard. You can't don't you even think about, and you go, well, wait a minute, here's a crime. So if I commit, or like up here's a crime. And you go, I did that. Yeah, but we still decided. I'm like, okay, in what other industry, if I do this, am I being suspended? Well, it doesn't matter. Why? Because you're a role model. You're an athlete. Bullshit. At some point in time, we have to knock that shit off. If you flew your kid in to a game and he wanted to see his role model and he's upset his role model didn't play, that's on you. If you want to see his favorite player and you saved your money up and his favorite player didn't play, I feel bad for the kid. And I feel bad for you too. You work really hard, you bust your ass, you bring your kid to game, cool. But if you brought your kid to see the role model, if you're saying today, man, Ja Morant really let my kid down, you suck as a parent. Like, you're a really bad fucking parent. You just are. That's not a judgment, that's a discernment. It makes me feel better in the Bible. Like, I'm not judging you. I'm discerning that the minute some other man's actions who do not know, he doesn't know your kid in any way, even if what he did was, if he committed a crime, if you anointed him as role model to your son or daughter, you suck as a father. You do. And that's a big part of what we got going on here, is that you push so much because you know what? That's easy. Because then you don't have to be you, right? All of a sudden, it's not you anymore. Some people use movies, TV, games, all these gamers, and because they don't want to parent. Parenting's a lot of work. Coaching's a lot of work. Making connections with people's a lot of work. But at some point in time, we have to decide. Because I don't know, dude. And I don't know the answer. I guess we'd have to check, and I don't know all these agreements. But if you're a Major League Baseball player out hunting in the middle of Oregon with, shotguns and rifles and handguns, and there's a video, what does that mean? That means your kid thinks, what if you don't agree with hunting and they hunt? Like, does that mean they should be suspended because your kid's now tainted? If you've taught your children, how hard is that to go, hey, you know what, son? Ja Morant waving a gun around, that's stupid. That's stupid. Don't know the circumstances, don't know if it's legal or not, didn't know if he had the permit, but you know what, it was dumb, son, because guns can go off, people can get killed, they're dangerous. And now let's be me. We carry them for self-defense and self-defense only. When I taught my kids about them, my deal was never pick it up ever, unless you think you need to defend yourself, and never point it at anybody unless you think you need to pull the trigger. Never. Never. But roll up on me and try to take my car, do something that puts me or my family in danger, then I'm going to do what I got to do to defend myself. Period, end of story. Nothing to talk about. You can tape it. You can put, nobody cares about Sean Mike, but you can do whatever you want. You send it to the cops because I will be defending myself. So you can have that conversation with your kids. Why? Actually, the Ja Morant thing is a very good teaching moment for good parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, role models, real family members and friends of people who really get to have one-on-one contact with these young people to say, hey, that was stupid. Let's have a dialogue about it. Hey, I wonder why he did it. Well, you know what? Well, dad or grandpa, or maybe you're a friend of the family, why do you think he did it? I don't know, man. Everybody's saying he just trying to work his way out of the NBA. I don't know. Maybe he's drinking. Maybe he's high. I don't know. I used to drink and high all the time. I don't know. I made bad decisions when I did. I don't know. But I know now I get to talk to you about it. And how many people die on an annual basis getting shot unintentionally. Because they do. It happens all the freaking time. And really talking about it. Now, if your family's anti-gun, it's a teaching moment. It's all a teaching moment if we'll take it to teach. Instead, we all forget about teaching. We vilify, attack, and then we say stuff like, yeah, no, but they're athletes. They have to be held to a higher standard. I don't agree with that, and I never will. And I think we've eventually got to get to this place where, because when we say they're role models and they're held to a higher standard, then we assume that they're superhuman, which they're not. Okay. And I had Sean Merriman on here recently. Lights out, Chargers, Bills. I mean, went to University of Maryland, a hell of an NFL career. And when he said it, I was kind of I don't know. He said, but people think we're superhuman and we're not. And really what he went on to talk about was not just athletically. He's there's a lot of all kinds of people can do what we do on some level. We just worked harder, obviously better. But from just a living our lives deal, we're superhuman. We don't ask other people at any other profession to deal with this shit. None. You tell me if I was on Wall Street and I was a broker and my buddy posted a video of me with a gun, first of all, nobody would care. Real estate agent, nobody would care. I'm sorry, man. I also don't know that if it was somebody in the spotlight that was a CEO, CFO. Now, you might go, well, they're smart enough not to do it. I'm sure people post stupid shit all the time. But it's not Ja Morant. I mean, that video got seen probably pretty quickly because it was Ja Morant. I mean, you post a video of me, probably be days before anybody would even think it was me, And same for you. You're we're here. We ain't Ja Morant, But I'll tell you, man, I just think we need to continue to question this whole concept that professional athletes, and I mean professional athletes in the NBA in the NFL specifically. I throw the major leagues in there too. Maybe the NHL, but certainly the NBA and the NFL are just expected to be superhuman. And I don't think it's right. I don't. And I think it's a slippery slope. Because when you start taking certain groups of people and saying, we're going to treat you very differently, and what's okay for everybody else is not okay for you, that's not okay. It's not. And where does it end? So I think it's really easy to, and it just gets such a kick out of us. What's his name? Is it Mike Green? You know, we got some breaking news today, and it's like, Greeny, he held a gun, dude. Like, everybody just calm the fuck down. It was dumb. Posting the video was dumber. But like, let's everybody slow down. That's the story of the day. Wow. My goodness, what are we going to do with ourselves? So I guess I just, and I don't know, but I would venture to guess the real professional athletes I've talked to have never said that they thought it was their obligation to be anybody's role model. And I've never really heard anybody say, I'm going to parent your kids, your nieces, your nephews, your grandkids because I'm a professional athlete. Never. I've never heard anybody say it. Maybe they have, and I don't watch enough, and maybe that's good for me that I don't watch enough. But I think we need to really take a good hard look at this from a different angle. And what's next? What will be the next thing that they determine is not okay? Whoever they are, because everybody just keeps saying he's a role model. It's not. I've not heard one. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. If somebody arrested him for something and I missed it, let me know. Or he did something previous with a gun and that's why, let me know. The guy he was with, a 3-time convicted felon and wasn't supposed to be carrying a gun. Let me know something that's a crime so we can start going like, oh, okay, God, do commit a crime. I still argue that you can commit a crime in a lot of jobs and not lose your job. That's a conversation too, but that's like, we can't even get to a place where that people aren't getting suspended for not committing a crime. So I think this whole role model thing is bullshit, and I think it's a bailout for the people who don't want to be the role models, and they're supposed to be the role models. That's why there's such a void in society today of role models, especially for young men. There is. Say whatever you want. I mean, see some of the people that people follow. You're like, dude, he's an idiot, but it's like there's a void, and the guy appears to be dangerous. Maybe, maybe not. Appears to be tough. That's fucking debatable, but there's just such a void. And it's sad, but that ain't Ja Morant's fault. And it's not any NBA athlete's fault or any NFL athlete or any other athlete for that matter. It's not. So double standards are made to be broken, fixed, reevaluated. And I just think anytime you take anybody, whether it's their profession, their ethnicity, their gender, anything, and you go, you're going to be treated differently than everybody else. I think that's a dangerous place to be in. And again, I don't agree with the fact that athletes are role models. They're supposed to be role models. I don't think they are. I think that's an odd position for people to take. And again, I think we need to start realizing who the real role models are. And maybe, just maybe, eventually a Jalen Rose will go, you know what, man, as society, we're getting a little bit better, and some of the people are actually being better role models to people and their families, and athletes are like, they're exciting to watch, and that's cool, and it's great that the kids look up to them athletically. Like, I'd like to do that move. I'd like to make that pitch that way. Man, I'd like to make that tackle. Like, I'm cool with all that. But the minute it starts going into he or she is a role model for my son or daughter, then you better step your parenting up. And until we do that, we're going to have a problem. So it's a different take on this Ja Morant thing. It's not the same thing every other idiot's saying, because I don't think they're right. If you think I'm wrong, tell me. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. I do appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, share, send this to somebody. Let's think differently. Let's have different discussions. Let's be honest and strong enough to go, I agree, I don't agree. You know what I mean? But that's what this whole thing's about. But if we keep dancing around all these things, dude, they just perpetuate and go on and on and on. And eventually, if we don't deal with it, it ends up, a lot of times things end really badly because they boil up and nobody says anything. So let me know what your take is on it. I always appreciate your time no matter what. I hope you're busy. I'm assuming you're busy. You took some time out of your day to listen to me talk about this and anything for that matter. So I appreciate you more than you know.